Okay, so the video is being recorded right now. Good morning, everybody. This video is going to cover another type of essay, which is the cause and effect essay. Last time, we worked on a comparison essay, and you got to write a portfolio on that particular type of essay as well. Today, we are going to move on to the second main type of essay, which is, as you can see, the cause and effect essay. Now, heads up, this particular type of essay is going to be much easier for us to grasp because compared to the previous one, this one is not that complicated. Okay, all right, just to let you know that you're gonna have an easier time understanding this particular type of essay compared to a comparison essay. Okay, all right. Okay, as you can see, these are the contents of our lesson. First, we're going to look at the definition of a cause and effect essay. What is it exactly? What do I need to know about a cause and effect essay? After that, we'll look at the common topics of a cause and effect essay. We proceed to work on some connectors, okay, the transitional words, the linking words, the phrases that must be used in order to show a cause or effect in a cause or effect essay. After that, we'll work on the organization. We'll look at the organization of this particular type of essay. Right? Is there a particular structure that I need to follow? How do I correctly construct a cause and effect essay? We'll look at brainstorming techniques as well, okay, that can be used in order to list down ideas for this essay. And then last but not least, we'll look at the outlining of this particular type of essay. Keep in mind, I am going to make separate videos for this particular type of essay. I don't want this video to be too long for all of you to watch. So this is going to be part one of the lesson where you or all of us are going to discuss the first three main contents, which are the definition, the common topics, and the connectors of a cause and effect essay. In another video, you are going to look at the organization of it, the brainstorming techniques, as well as the outlining of a cause and effect essay. Okay, so what is a cause and effect essay? To understand that, we need to understand the difference between the word cause and the word effect. Okay, so what is a cause? A cause or causes refer to reasons. Why a particular event happens or what causes something to happen. Again, the word cause or causes refer to reasons why something happens or reasons why somebody does something. Okay, what causes somebody to do something? They are the causes. For example, let us look at the causes of smoking. So what causes people to smoke? Why do people smoke? Okay, so these are the possible reasons why people smoke. People smoke because they are stressed. People smoke because of peer pressure. Maybe they are surrounded by people who smoke. That's why they adopt the habit of smoking as well. Or they smoke because of the media, okay, influence. Okay, they are being influenced by the media to the point where they can't help but choosing to smoke. Right, so these are the possible reasons of smoking. So again, the word cause answers the question why somebody does something. What causes something to happen? Okay, so what causes people to smoke? Why do people smoke? People smoke because of stress. People smoke because of peer pressure. People smoke because of the media influence. Okay, so again, the word cause answers the question why something happens or why somebody does something. Unlike the word cause, the word effect or effects refer to results. Okay, not reasons, but results of a cause. So this one answers the question What happens when somebody does something? Okay, so instead of answering the question why, they answer the question what. What happens when something happens? What happens when a person does something? Okay, right. So we focus on the results of an action or results of a cause. Let's look at the example here, the effects of smoking. So what are the effects of smoking? Right. So what happens when we smoke? This is the question that the word effects answer. What happens when you smoke? What happens when people smoke? Okay. So when people smoke, they might get lung cancer. When people smoke, they may age faster. Okay, they may be 20-year old, but they may be 20 years old, but they look 50, for example, premature aging, right? What happens when people smoke? When people smoke, the secondhand smoke happens, which means that when you smoke, other people around you will inhale the smoke from your cigarettes or tobacco, right? Okay, so these are the effects of smoking. Okay, so one more time. Okay, the effects answer the question why. Oh, sorry. What happens when a person does something? Okay, so it focuses on the results of an action or an event rather than why that event or that action happens. Okay, right. So these are the differences between the word cause and effect. Okay, so the word cause focuses on why something happens, what causes something to happen. The word effects focus on the results of an action, the results of a cause. What happens when somebody does something? Okay, right. So when you smoke, what happens? You get lung cancer. You age faster. Okay, you make people around you smell the smoke from your cigarettes. Okay, but the thing is, just like our previous type of essay, the cause and effect essay wants you to focus on only one side, which means that you are suggested that you write on only the causes or the effects of the subject, but not both. This is something that you have to keep in mind. Okay, you either focus on the causes or you talk about the effects of your topic, but you cannot talk about both in the same essay. Okay, so I hope that you have gotten an understanding of what a cause and effect essay is, or at least can distinguish between the word cause and the word effect. Now we are going to look at some common topics for cause and effect essay. Choosing a topic is probably the most, or one of, if not the most challenging tasks for a writer, because choosing a correct topic, can make or break your essay, right? If you do not choose the right topic, you may not have ideas to write. So it's important for us to look at some common topics for this particular type of essay, the kinds of topics that give out the causes and effects. First, let's look at the topic of depression. Of course, it is a very common topic, and we can easily find the causes for depression or causes of depression. So what causes people to have depression? What causes people to become depressed? So as you can see, these are the possible causes for depression, right? Some people become depressed probably because they are struggling to earn money. Some people are depressed because they have relationship problems, or people who are depressed because they are being bullied by other people at school, right? Right. So the topic depression is one of the most common topics that can give out the causes for us to write about. Okay, right. So the causes of depression, the possible causes of depression could be struggling to earn money, relationship problems, or even being bullied by other people. Another topic that is common as well is when students drop out of school or college, right? So here we are going to write about why people drop out. Okay, why do students quit college or high school, for example? Okay, so as you can see, these are the possible reasons why people quit, or students quit to be exact. Okay, some students drop out because they are not able to catch up with the lessons. Some students drop out because maybe they cannot manage their time well. Okay, or some students drop out simply because they cannot afford to continue. They do not have the money to continue studying or pursuing higher degree or higher knowledge. Okay, right. So here, this topic can give us some causes as to why it happens. Okay, why it happens. Another topic is climate change. This one is pretty common as well. Okay, so why does climate change happen? Okay, why does climate change happen? What causes climate change to happen? Right, maybe because people cut down trees all the time. Okay, or maybe because the smoke from factories or vehicles. Okay, that's why climate change happens. Another topic is domestic violence. Okay, so why do people commit violence in their household? Okay, right. Why does domestic violence happens? Okay, domestic violence happens because maybe of alcohol, maybe people lack education. That's why they are tempted to commit violence in their home. Okay, right. So again, these are the common topics for causes. When choosing a topic for a cause and effect essay, you need to be careful as or in regards to whether the topic can be something that you can think of causes for or effects for, which leads us to another point, which is the common topics for effects. Okay, so we have just looked at the common topics for causes. Now let us look at some common topics for the word or for effects. For example, deforestation. What is deforestation? Cutting down trees, right? Okay. So what are the effects of deforestation? Which means what happens when we cut down trees? Again, the word cause answers the question why something happens. The word effect answers the question what happens if somebody does something or when somebody does something, right? So what happens when we cut down tree? Okay, right. When there is no tree or when people cut down tree too much, the effects of it would be climate change, flood, or maybe lack of oxygen. Okay, so these are the effects of deforestation. What happens if we cut down tree? Okay, if we cut down tree, climate change happens, flood happens, lack of oxygen happens. Dropping out of school, right? The same topic, dropping out of school or college. So what happens if students drop out of school, right? Okay, so what are the effects if we do not continue to study? Okay, right? If you do not continue to study or if you quit school, you could face unemployment. You could have no skills or knowledge to work or earn higher salary. Okay, right? So these are the effects of dropping out of school. Okay, so when we drop out of school, what happens? What happens is you do not have a job. You do not have the skills or knowledge. That these are the effects of dropping out of school. Okay, drug, right? So when people do drug, what happens? Okay, right? When people do drug, they become violent. Okay, this is the effect of drug, right? Okay, they become violent. Okay, they may hurt other people or they may even hurt themselves. Okay, so these are the effects of drug. Domestic violence. Okay, right. So if people commit violence in their home, what happens? Okay, what are the effects of it? Okay, the effects of it is children do not grow up well. Okay, or maybe the two parents may just get divorced. So these are the effects of domestic violence. Okay, when domestic violence, what happens if we commit violence in home? Okay, right. What happens? Children don't grow up well. Okay, or maybe divorce could happen as well. Okay, right. So these are the common topics for the causes and effects. And remember, choosing a topic is important. You need to choose a topic that you can think of the effects, okay, for or the causes for. Okay, so I believe that you have gotten so much, okay, understanding of what a cause and effect is. Okay, what sorts of topics are suitable for a cause and effect essay. But even more important than that is when we actually write, okay, when we actually put information together in our paragraphs. That is where connectors come into play, okay, right? So we have certain connectors, we have certain phrases or linking words that are suitable to describe a cause or effect. So first, let us look at the connectors for causes, right? I believe you have learned all of these back in year one, and we have also discussed these for quite a number of times as well throughout the weeks. Okay, I've already sent you a website where you can see all the possible words or phrases, transitional words that you can use to show a cause and effect. But let us look at a number of words or phrases that are common when it comes to showing a cause. The first one is for, obviously, right? The word for means because. Okay, he smokes, comma, for he is stressed. He smokes because he is stressed. So the highlighted clauses here refers to the causes. Okay, refers to the causes. So he smoke. Why does he smoke? See, it answers the question. Why does he smoke? He smokes because he is stressed. For he is stressed. So for is a fanboy, so you need a comma. So again, pay attention to the structure, the use of commas, the use of semicolon. Okay, because obviously, right? He smokes because he is stressed. Okay, right? Because of. Now, the word because of is followed by a noun, while the word because is followed by a clause, subject plus verb, as you can see. Okay, so we learn to pay attention to these. Because of, he smokes because of stress, or you can put the word because of stress in at the beginning of the sentence. Because of stress, comma, he smokes. Due to is also another phrase for you to mean because as well. Okay, so he smokes due to stress, or due to stress, comma, he smokes. Okay, so again, the word due to here is followed by a noun, not a subject plus verb. Be careful with that, right? As a result of, okay, as a result of. Okay, so as a result of, unlike as a result of is followed by a noun. Okay, as a result of the rain, we all get wet. Okay, right, because of the rain, we all get wet. Owing to means due to as well, means because of as well. Okay, owing to stress, it is followed by a noun. Owing to stress, he smokes. Okay, due to the fact that, same thing, it's just another way of you to write, okay, to mean because, it's the same thing, it means the same thing. Due to the fact that he is stressed, he smokes. Or you can put it at the end, he smokes due to the fact that he is stressed. Owing to the fact that, same thing, okay, it's exactly the same as due to, just different words. Okay, owing to the fact that he is stressed, he smokes. And of course, since, right, he smokes since he is extremely stressed. Okay, so as you can see, these are the possible connectors that you can use to show a cause. All right, so pay attention to to how they are written in a sentence. Pay attention to the use of commas. Pay attention to whether it is followed by a subject plus verb or a noun. Okay, you've already learned this, so we may not be able to go through this much deeper. Okay, so we have looked at the connectors for causes. Now we are going to look at the connectors that we can use to show effects. So first, obviously, the word so. Okay, the word so is used to show effects. It is also a fanboy as well, right? He smokes, comma, so he has poor health. Okay, what happens when he smokes? See, the question that it answers again. What happens when when he smokes? When he smokes, his health becomes poorer. Okay, right? That is the effect of smoking. Therefore, okay, therefore is also used to show result or effect as well. Okay, he smokes, therefore he has poor health. Consequently, he smokes, consequently he has poor health. Again, these mean the exact same thing, okay? Like they mean result, they show effects. As a consequence, okay, he smokes. As a consequence, he has poor health. Okay, as a result, okay, as a result. Now, unlike as a result of, as a result here is used to show effect, okay, and as a result is not followed by a noun, All right. As a result is a separate transitional phrase. Okay. Right. It cannot be followed by a subject plus verb or a noun. It has to be used at the start of the sentence, which means that you have to separate it using comma, just like the example that shows you. He smokes as a result, comma, he has poor health. Okay. For this reason, exactly the same as a result, they function the same way, they mean the same thing. Hence, mean the same thing as therefore, consequently, does mean the same thing as the others. Okay, but they are also used the same thing as well. Okay, hence, therefore, for this reason, as a result, as a consequence, consequently, therefore, they are used the same way. Okay, all right, so as you can see, I have used semicolon here. Right, so again, we've already looked at these. These are just some more structures, more styles for you to write when it comes to using connectors. All right. So I believe that you have gotten an understanding, at least have revised, have reminded yourselves of how or what the kinds of connectors you can use to show effect or cause. So now I would like you to try and do this practice quickly. Right. So we have 10 sentences, and your job is to look at these sentences and see if you can use the correct connector to show a cause or effect. Okay, right. So read the sentences carefully. Which sentence showing cause? Which sentence shows effect? Okay, right. If you know that the sentence shows a cause, what kind of connector should I use to show a cause? All right. Okay, so pause the video and then play it back and check the answers all together. Okay, I'm gonna give you some time to pause the video and work on the exercise yourself first. Okay, so I believe that you have done this exercise, all right, using the correct connector to show a cause and effect. So let us go through this together quickly. Okay, so number one, the traffic was heavy. Obviously, this one shows a cause. Shows a result, shows an effect. Okay, so we have to use the connectors that show effect. So here, multiple answers are possible, right? You can say therefore, you can say consequently, or you can say as a result, right? Okay, the traffic was heavy. As a result, she arrived late to the meeting. Okay, so that is the effect. What happens? Because what happens due to the traffic, right? Okay, what happens? Okay, when the traffic was heavy, what happens? When the traffic was heavy, she arrived late. Okay, right. So that is why, that is the reason, that is the effect of the heavy traffic. He missed the bus, he overslept, right? So does this sentence shows a cause or effect? This one obviously shows a cause, okay? Right, so he missed the bus. Why? Why did he miss the bus? He missed the bus because he overslept. The experiment failed, the equipment malfunctioned. Okay, so again, this one also answers the question as to why as well. So why did the experiment fail? Because the equipment malfunctioned. She studied diligently. She wanted to ace the exam. Obviously, this one shows a cause as well. So why did she study diligently? Why did she work so hard? Okay, she worked hard because she wanted to pass the exam. The storm caused the outage. Okay, the storm caused a power outage. So does this sentence shows a cause or effect? Obviously, they show effect. It shows effect. So we say therefore, consequently, or as a result. Right? What happens when the storm caused the power outage? Okay, many homes were without electricity. That is the effect of the power outage. The rain. Okay, so this one obviously the cause as well, right? So we say due to the rain, the outdoor event was cancelled. Okay, right? Because of the rain. So since the rain here is a noun, the word due to is followed by a noun. The word since or because are followed by subject and verb. Okay, due to the rain, the outdoor event was cancelled. Because of the rain, the outdoor event was cancelled. He lost his job due to his frequent absences. Okay, so why did he lose his job? Because of the absences that he had. Okay, so again, we use due to because it is a noun phrase, so it has to be followed after the word due to, not because or since. Because or since are followed by subject verb. The team's hard work, right? Okay, so obviously due to the team's hard work, they won the championship. The same function the same way. Why? Okay, why did they win the championship? Because of their hard work. The car skidded on the wet road. Okay, obviously because of sins, right? So why did the car skid on the wet road? Because the driver could not control it. Okay, the movie received poor reviews. Why did it receive poor reviews? Because it performed poorly at the box office. Okay, so this is the end of the very first part of our lesson. Cause and effect essay. All right, so we have looked at what the difference between the word cause and effect. We have looked at the some common topics of cause and effect essay, and we've also looked at the connectors for cause and effect, and the practice for those connectors as well. All right, so in the next video, you are going to look at the organization of a cause and effect essay. We'll look at some brainstorming techniques as well as outlining, and then finally we'll look at some samples of a cause and effect essay. Thank you, everybody.